Hello again. So this is a video about exam and test instructions, okay, and the various places where you can put these instructions. Okay, so here is my Moodle page for Computer Science 110, and all the way at the bottom here, you can see this is where I actually am going to have my final exam. Okay, and already I have available for the students this final exam guide. Okay, so I've made up a guide for them to kind of explain how the exam is going to run, just so they know what to expect. So talking about my exam is composed of two parts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the tasks that they have to do, and the time that they have, and yeah, they have to complete it and upload it within that time, what happens when they run out of time, that sort of thing, what they're going to see. So in the exam, I remind them to click the finish attempt, and the last thing they need to do is click that submit all and finish, and I provided some screenshots. So it's up to you how if you want to make an exam guide or how you want to structure it, but I thought it'd be good for students, since for many of them it's probably the first time that they do an exam online. So I kind of wrote this to tell them what I expect of them and how I'm going to be structuring the exam. Okay, so let's go back. So that's my final exam guide. And another thing that I'm doing is I'm making kind of like a dummy run. Okay, so just so they can see what it feels like to do a test. So in my final exam, what I'm having them do is download a file, complete the file, and upload it. Okay, so what I'm anticipating is that maybe somebody's going to say, oh, I have a very slow upload speed and I wasn't able to upload it in that 1 hour and 40 minutes. I completed the exam in 1 hour 39 and I tried to upload it in 1 minute, and the upload took 5 minutes, and that caused problems because I went over and it ended up being 1 hour 44 minutes. So to avoid that, I'm doing this kind of test where students download the file, upload it. That way they can kind of gauge how long it takes their connection to actually upload the file, and then they can kind of plan accordingly. So that's that demo test up there, and then that will be available on May 5th when I have my final exam. Okay, so as you can see here, this one actually has some instructions below the actual link. Okay, this one I still have to put it, but you can see that in my instruction or description, I say this is just a trial, right? The real exam is on May 5th, it's at this time, and you have this amount of time to complete it. Okay, so where do you insert this description? Okay, that is available editing the exam itself. So if I click the edit button, edit settings, and if you've set up an exam before, this is where you probably see, you remember the timing and whatnot, and yeah, review options, all those things. Anyways, this is where you actually write the description that you see on that that course page. Okay, so you write it in there, and if you want it to display in the course page, you have to click on this box right there, right? Display on course page. If you don't click that, I'll show you where it will display if you don't click that. Okay, so I'll just go back. Okay, so if I don't click that, then it won't display here, but when they click on the exam itself, okay, this is where they'll see it. Okay, and I encourage you to put it on the course page, because a lot of people, they just don't read this. Okay, they just want to get into the exam. Okay, so time limit 1 hour 40, and then they click to get into the exam. I already started, so it says continue, last preview, but for a student, it'll say something like start attempt or something like that. Okay, so let's go in there. And here is another place where you can put instructions. Okay, these instructions here are made with, it's actually a question type, and it's not really a question, so that's kind of confusing. But you put this when you insert questions into your exam, just like you insert other questions. Here are my questions. This is like multiple choice, short answer, those types of questions. In mine, I've made it where this question is a file upload type question. So they have to download the Word file, complete it, and then they upload it here. Okay, so to do all that, what you go into is inside your exam, your test. Okay, so I'm in the test downloading and uploading that dummy run thing. In the cog here, let's go ahead and edit the quiz. Okay, edit the quiz, and here you can actually see where I've put that description of the test. And what I can do, for example, if I want to add one of those, let's go to add question. Okay, so here you can see your different multiple choice questions, whatever. And right at the bottom here is where you can add a description. Add. And one thing I've haven't done, but I plan to do, is to put a academic dishonesty disclaimer. Okay, so I'll call this disclaimer. Okay. Okay, academic dishonesty disclaimer. Okay, let's make that some sort of heading. Okay, and then, you know, here I'd write my text about what is academic dishonesty. They're held to the honor system. I don't want them to copy and paste text. I don't want them to use internet browsers, whatever I consider academic dishonesty, I'd write it there. Okay, so after I'm done that, let's go to save changes. Okay, and you can see there, that's where it is, and then I can put it wherever I want. Okay, so it looks like that. Let's save. And since this is a dummy run for them, you can see that I've made everything 0 points. Okay, so let's go back to the test itself and see what it looks like. Okay, so for a teacher it says preview quiz now, but for students it'll say something like attempt quiz or something like that. Okay, so you can see here, there's my instructions, there's my academic dishonesty disclaimer, and there are the questions for my test. So that's where you can insert descriptions, they're called, and it's a question type. So go ahead and edit your quiz, add a question, and even though it's not a question, it's in there. Scroll all the way down and you can insert these and put in instructions for your test itself. Okay. You can also write things in the actual question. So let's, for example, when you're making a question, right, the question text, of course, you can also write some instructions here, but these would probably be instructions for the individual question. All right, so I hope that was helpful.